In this video, I'm going to be showing you some various techniques in watercolor. It may not be a finished product as such, but you will see at least 4 or 5 different techniques. I've put some Frisket in here. I'm going to have a wave here. I'm going to have a rock here. I'm going to have a palm tree here. And I'm going to have a sunset here. So the first thing I need to do is to put my sky in, and I'm going to wet the paper. Now I'm going to apply the blue. With a 1-inch brush. It's ultramarine blue. Now I'm going to flip the board and let it run down that way. Then I'm going to put my red sunset right here. With as fewer strokes as possible. I want it to blend in to the blue. I think it's doing it. Just let that blend in for a few minutes. I might just darken this side up a little bit. Whoa, there you go. I'm going to leave it in that position and just let it dry. Now this is dry, I'm going to show you how we could put some little darker clouds in here. And this is what we're going to use. We're going to use a little spray bottle, and we're going to spray little drops of water very carefully. Not a mist. Then I'm going to take a little paintbrush and I'm just going to touch that area. So put another one in here. over here we're going to have to put a very, very, very light red. Put just a touch over here. Now I'm going to put this rock formation in. And it's going to be a very, very dark brown. Get a very textured edge here at the bottom. There will be some water in here. Now you may want to scrape out a couple of highlights. I'm going to do them here. I'm using a razor blade. Naturally, this must be done when it's wet. Now I'm going to add some texture or clouds maybe into this blue sky. So what it means, I'm going to turn this upside down. I'm going to wet the paper. And apply the paint. Now there's a hard line forming, so all you do is just apply a little water and just let it run down. Now what we might do is we might take a piece of tissue and roll it up into like a cigar, and you might want to just put that on there like that and just roll this back and forth. And produce some fluffy clouds. Now if you made it really darker over to say one area right here, and turn this upside down again, and just let that blend. And just leave it alone and turn it around. Let it run down a little bit more. This should come down slowly. We just wait till it dries and we just let it sink slowly down the paper. Now I showed you in here a rather dark area, and I guess some of you thought it was going to be really dark, but look how it's nicely dried out with just few brush strokes. If I'd have brushed it back and forth, I would not have got that effect. You paint, leave it alone. And I just put in a little puffy cloud there with some tissue. Now we're going to put in an indication of a palm tree. I'm using a 1-inch flat brush. Might add just a little bit more here. not necessary, but you've got the idea. It's a flat brush to a point, to an edge, and then you just let it rip. You put the spine in, and then you put the little, whatever those things are called, fronds. I'm going to put a distant hillside in here, or hillside, rock, cliff, whatever. But I do not want a hard edge like this. This is going to be a long way away, and it's going to be really misty. So what I'm going to do is I need to make this horizon perfectly level. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to come across here and put the tape right there. I'm going to make sure by just pushing that tape down that the water doesn't go on, the paint doesn't go underneath the tape. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the top edge. And where I've got a hard edge here, I'm just going to take it out. Incidentally, I'm using an incredible nib that I use for frisket, but you can also remove paint with it. There you go. I'm going to turn the board upside down. And drop in my distant hillside. Turn the board upside down, or the right way round. And just maybe darken a few areas. Move the tape. There's a pretty good edge, isn't there? Now I'm going to put the ocean in. And I'm going to use ultramarine blue, and I've got to have a touch of red because of the sky reflecting. I'm going to start here and work my way over. Just indicating there is some white be a little bit more bluer over here. Dry the brush because I want the water to be splashing against this rock. Now this is going to be the wave that's the breaker that's just coming into the shore. I'm just applying a little water to it. The brush stroke is going the way that I expect the water to break, that be in this direction. Okay, let's let that dry. We may have to modify a little bit. All that remains to be done with this now is to remove the frisket, develop the waves, and maybe we'll put a rock in here, and I'm going to put my birds in right here. So first of all, we're going to remove the frisket, what there is of it. This is actually called a frisket remover. For those that are of an age, you could remember when they had crepe sole shoes. This is what this is, a piece of crepe. And they now sell it as a frisket remover, and it sure does save the fingers. Okay, now I've got to develop that wave in here now. I think I'll just leave that for a minute or two. Okay, I'm going to put the rock in here. It's going to be fairly thick paint. I want to get a fairly sharp edge, or edges rather. Now I'm going to take the razor blade and we're going to make some rocks here. Now we can come in and darken some of this. There. Let me stand back and look. That's beginning to look like a rock. Alright, we put a couple of birds here. And we give the painting some depth by just putting that guy way down there. Okay, now all I need to do now is come in and fix this top line of this breaker.